and welcome here to TalkFCB, and welcome back here to the channel, guys. Things are feeling much better right now, aren't they? Things are feeling as though they are on their way back. We're not saying that they're here, but believe me, we are on the right track. And of course, before we get into today's video, the Bundesliga is going to be back within nearly the next week. Next Saturday, the Bundesliga will return in Germany, and that right now, just over a week away, and doesn't that sound incredible? Next weekend, there's a full weekend of fixtures that have been scheduled, and that sounds absolutely fantastic right now. And I'm just wondering, guys, just putting it out there for your thoughts, would you like to see some Bundesliga videos? I know they're all going to be very interested in the games that are going on right now, because any football is going to be welcomed. So just let me know what you think about that in the comments down below. But in today's video, we're going to be talking, of course, Barcelona, their return to training, which is about to take place very soon indeed after the test results are in. We're also going to be talking about the Barcelona B players who were involved in that testing and may well play a part in Quique Setien's plans for the rest of the season. And we're also going to be discussing the interesting topic of whether Luis Suárez is a little bit overweight. It's all coming up in today's video. Good vibes. Let's do this. But let's start first and foremost with that big news, because as we spoke about yesterday, so many of you tuned into my video yesterday. I really appreciate that support, guys. The testing was taking place there at the training ground with all the Barcelona players except Ousmane Dembele involved in that testing there for COVID-19, and the test results were confirmed back to Barcelona today. And great news, Rack 1 broke the story that every single test with regard to the players all came back negative. They do not have the virus, and that is fantastic news, which basically means now the green light for training can be given. And that means that from tomorrow, training will begin. Barcelona will be back in training, starting there with all of those precautions, starting there with that individual work in the very early stages here of their return. It's going to start slowly. We're going to build it up there as time goes on. It's going to be individual work at first in those very small groups. And then, of course, as time goes on, they'll continue there to be very careful with exactly what the players are doing, exactly who they're coming into contact with, and all the rest of it. And I just want to talk here about some of the precautions that the club are taking and the players will have to take every single time in terms of arriving and also leaving training, just to be on the safe side. For instance, yesterday you will have seen here that they all arrived in their own cars, which may not seem that unusual, but it was interesting there, because usually on a match day you would see them turn up there to the games in their officially sponsored club cars that the club had given them, of course, from Cupra. Whereas yesterday, the players there were actually turning up in their own cars that obviously they come straight from home, straight to the training ground. They hadn't stopped off anywhere, they hadn't picked up anything from anywhere. They simply came from home, straight to the training ground, and it was actually quite interesting. You don't often get to see this, what cars the players were driving. In particular there, you're looking at the most flamboyant one, Antoine Griezmann with that Rolls-Royce. Interesting choice there, and certainly it was interesting to see a number of the vehicles the players did turn up in. And also what you will have noticed is that they were all on their own. They were all there driving to training in their own cars, not with each other, because sometimes you'd see again on match day the likes of Suarez, Messi turning up together, players there having lifts, sharing their cars. That will not happen right now. The players are going to be coming from their homes straight to training on their own. Another precaution indeed the players are going to have to take is that they will be responsible for dressing themselves. I know it's a big ask, but they are going to have to dress themselves in their own kit before they even get to training. So they're going to be leaving the house there in their kit, what they're going to be wearing for the training session, and that will basically avoid going into the dressing room, changing there all together in the same confined space, and all of their clothes will be coming directly from home. And also, they may well be responsible there to take their own kit home afterwards and wash it themselves. And that's not something these footballers will have done for many years indeed. But look, these are the things that we have to do right now, guys. And of course, we have also been saying for quite a while now, when football does indeed return, it will undoubtedly be behind closed doors with no fans allowed inside the stadium. And I think right now, we can expect, to be honest, to see empty stadiums for quite some time, unfortunately. The health minister actually in the Netherlands today came out and basically said there'll be no Eredivisie games with fans until a vaccine has been found for COVID-19, which could see there behind closed doors games until well into 2021, which of course would be a shame. But right now, at the same time, we'll take what we can get. We'll be very, very thankful to see football, to see the players returning there, out on the field. Without fans, it's not ideal. But look, these are not ideal times. You're not going to have normal circumstances right now for quite some time. So we've got to take what we can get, and we'll be happy to see the football back. But I also do want to mention there, with regard to that testing there for the first team in Barcelona yesterday, a number of the Barcelona B players that were also involved in that testing, and that basically means there that they were selected with a view potentially of taking part with the first team when football does return. And in particular, they are going to be involved there in the first team training sessions. Now, those players were Ansu Fati, of course, would have really been involved anyway. Ricky Puig was one of those players as well. Iñaki Peña, the third goalkeeper. Ronald Araujo, the centre-back. Alex Collado, and also Monchu from Barcelona B. So all of those players there have the opportunity now to train with the first team, to show Quique Setién exactly what they're capable of. And I also do think there, given the fact that when games do return, we're likely to be seeing them in very quick succession. I don't think we're going to see as much rest in between games as we once did in those ideal circumstances. And that means that now, more than ever, we said it before, there's going to be so much pressure on coaches to use their full squad. You're going to have to use there in your team every single option that's afforded of you. And that could mean that certainly some of those younger players, you look at Ricky Puig, you look at Ronald Araujo, Alex Collado, Monchu, every single one of those players, depending on how they perform in training, depending on what sort of impression they give Quique Setién, they could be about to get some very important minutes under their belts if we need them. And until now, until the end of the season, every game is huge. So they could be appearing in some big games. But finally, guys, I do want to discuss in today's video the topic there surrounding Luis Suárez, because obviously we spoke about yesterday the fact that he is going to be absolutely fine. He's fully recovered now from his injury, and he's going to be getting back into the swing of things. As soon as the players return to training, Suarez is going to be there with the rest of the squad. But basically, yesterday, when I showed some photos there from the players arriving at the training centre, obviously Suarez there was in his mask and his gloves, and he was also there in a t-shirt. And some people were saying, does he look good? Does he look there as though maybe during the course of his injury, and also, of course, there being in lockdown, has he put on a few pounds? Suarez maybe looking a little bit on the heavier side. But I want to say, first and foremost, I think every single player right now probably are not going to be in absolute optimum shape. They're all have been at home. They've not been able there to go to the gym, to go to a proper sort of setup with a club that they usually go through to keep themselves in the best physical condition. So I think every single player, that's why we're having this period now of training, because they are going to need time to get fully up to shape where they need to be to play at the top level. What I would also say there, though, is about Suarez, is that often when you look at Suarez, when you look at his profile, when you look there at actually his physique, sometimes he can look overweight. Sometimes when you look at him there in his football shirts and also there in the t-shirt he's wearing, he can look as though he's carrying a few extra pounds. But I just want to show you here, coincidentally, a video there that his wife posted on Instagram as Suarez basically in their back garden there working out and keeping up that fitness, and he's actually there working with the ball. And as you can see, he doesn't exactly look too bad, does he? You know, he doesn't look there as though he's carrying a lot of extra weight. I certainly wouldn't there say that is a fat person. Suarez there looking in very, very decent shape. And I'm absolutely sure that when the players come back, when they've had that time to train, when they've gone through all the different phases there leading up to their return, they are going to be in the best shape they possibly can. Because quite frankly, Quique Setién, and especially Eder Sarabia, he's going to demand that. He's the kind of guy there who's going to stay on the players, he's going to demand the best from them, and they will expect them to be quickly now at the level they need to be at. And we're going to see that expected of every single player. So right now, guys, that is what is happening in the Barcelona setup. I think, like I say, times are looking much, much more positive in quite a short space of time now. We've gone from nothing. We've gone from no hope, no football, nothing to look forward to. Suddenly now, you've got the Bundesliga coming back. You've got next weekend. We're going to be talking about football matches again. That's absolutely fantastic news. Now you've got Barcelona players coming in for testing. They're going to be starting training tomorrow. And then we're going to have to start to look again at these training sessions. What are they doing? What are they working on? How are the players looking? And of course, then we'll get some more insights in whether Quique Setién is going to use those Barcelona B players, what his plans are for the rest of the season. And also, quite shortly, I would expect to start hearing maybe some news about the Champions League. That's something right now that's certainly been in the background. We've been focusing very much there on the return of the domestic leagues, and of course, that sort of has to come back first. But you do feel as though when the likes of Germany have got going, when Italy maybe can come back, the Premier League, now La Liga. You do look at all those leagues and you are thinking then, what happens to the Champions League, which apparently is still going to be set to go ahead in August. They're still expecting the final to be played in that month. That may be ambitious. We'll have to wait and see. But all we know is football is on its way back. And boy, doesn't that feel good? So thanks, as always, guys, for your continued support. I'm really, really happy to see so many of you excited in the comments. That's the way that we all want to be feeling right now, and I'm really, really happy to be able to share that with you guys. I will see you soon, of course, with plenty more videos to come, hopefully discussing some Barcelona training sessions. I'll see you soon, but until next time, as always, Visca el Barça.